Hey guys, James here and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about my guitars. The first guitar we're going to talk about is my red American Standard Tele. I've had this guitar since around 2008, so around 12 years now. It's had its fair share of bashes and knocks and scrapes, and originally this guitar went unchanged for the first 4 or 5 years of having it, and then I heard about Emerson Custom through Instagram or Facebook, and I thought, wow, I think I was getting really bored of the sound of the guitar, or I just felt like I needed to do something to draw me back to it. This was my only guitar at the time, so I maybe felt like at the time I didn't have enough money to maybe get another guitar that I maybe thought I needed, or to scratch that itch when it came to gear. So I changed the pickups, changed the wiring, and it was my main guitar for doing everything, playing in church, doing little gigs outside of church. It was basically played solidly for 5-6 years after that, and then in 2013 I got my Duesenberg Star Player, which was a 21st birthday present from my mum and dad. Originally I'd went down with the idea of maybe getting a Gretsch Duo Jet, or the dream guitar was always a White Falcon, and then I thought, £3 is way too much to be taken out of the house. Not that I've thought about that, taking out a pedal board now, but for guitar wise I thought it's super expensive. I wouldn't feel comfortable taking it out in case it got bashed or knocked, or I think I'd maybe treasure it a bit too much. And went down to a music shop called Red Dog Music in Edinburgh and picked up this, plugged it in. It was just amazing. I just loved the way it felt. I love the way it sounded because it's semi-hollow. It gave me the 335 kind of deal, but with a really cool, it was a different look. I feel like I'd been playing with guitarists that had played Teles, Strats, Les Paul style guitars, and one other guy I played with had a black one, and I thought, well, I can't get a black one, so I need to get the polar opposite. So I got this one, and I just loved it. Played, recorded an album with a band I used to be in on this, and the Red Tele. It was just my be-all end-all guitar. I loved having a trem on it. And yeah, changed the pickups on these. They used to have the original Duesenberg ones. These are McNelly pickups. The bridge pickup is a cornucopia, which is like his PAF style pickup, and my neck pickup is a Stagger Swagger. It's a noiseless P90. Shout out to James Thain. He hooked me up with those pickups when I need them at the time. Got some strap locks so I don't drop it. And then the next guitar's got a really special story to it. Dave Cherry, who sets up and does all the work on all my guitars, basically, has changed pickups for me when I couldn't work a soldering iron, and did everything. This is my Cherrycaster. Don't know if you can see that. So Dave, we'd been talking about building a guitar for ages, and I thought, yeah, well, it'll happen one day. Because he was always super busy with setups. He was already building, I think, an acoustic for someone at the time and a bass. And I was just like, I really want to have something that Dave has built specifically for me. And at the time, I was really wanting a Strat. I'd had my Tele, I've got my Duesenberg. I was like, I need a Strat. The Strat's the next thing on my list. So we got the ball rolling. I'd ordered the pick guard and the pickups from James Thain again. These pickups are McNelly Nostalgia pickups, which are great. Not your typical sounding Strat set. The bridge is super full instead of that spiky, ice picky sound that you sometimes get. It's just a Strat style body, just super thin coat of black. There's actually no clear coat on the top, so as you can probably see, it is wearing through already, and the colour is sinking into the paint and checking really nicely, wearing away in different places. I just wanted it, I didn't want it to feel like a brand new guitar, but I didn't want it relict. And at the same time, it took us ages to find, but we got some roasted flamed maple for the neck, which again is just like a gunstock wax oil finish, kind of like reminded me of the Music Man guitars for the finish in the back of the neck. A rosewood fretboard. We have roasted maple inlays for the dots, which is the leftover material which we had from the neck. We have got Dave's signature cherry inlay in the headstock. I didn't really want any writing or anything on it. I just wanted it to be a talking point for the guitar, so that if I was out playing somewhere and someone said, what kind of guitar is that, I could then pull up the story of Dave. We've also got his nameplate in the back, which you can kind of see. So yeah, it's a fantastic guitar. Dave carved the neck. Dave carved the neck basically to my hand. We went in and it was like a suit fitting. He calls it the Savile Row strap because we literally fitted the neck to my hand. It feels super wide for some people, but I've got big hands, so I just felt like, if you don't want a standard C shape. If you're going full custom build, you want it to fit you. So that's what we did, and it's just got, I can't remember what we've got for hardware. We've got column hardware all the way through, so column strut, block, trem arm, column hardware, everything apart from the wiring. That was James Somatone's signature wiring harness, which again, zero problems with, super easy to drop in and solder. Just got the build coming along quicker. It's also got a Mother Mary strap, which I specifically got for this guitar, and it doesn't leave it. I think it kind of finishes it off. And lastly, for electrics, we have my 1978 Telecaster, which from being from the 70s, you'd think it would have a 3-bolt, but it's a 4-bolt neck, again with a Mother Mary cool strap that I got from James Somatone. I just seem to buy everything from him. Again, for this, it was Dave that helped me procure this instrument. A guy who lived locally had passed away, and his wife was getting rid of some of these guitars, and this was one of them. I'd actually missed the first time to buy this. I didn't have the money at the time. I thought I'd love to own a vintage Fender, but just couldn't afford it. Didn't have the extra cash lying around. And the person who bought it from the woman put it for sale. He basically hadn't played it since he got it. It had just been lying about, and I jumped at the chance. I thought, there's no way I'm letting this guitar get past me again. So yeah, just the wear on the side of the neck is all from the guy's wedding ring, or rings that he wore on his finger as he played in the local folk club. It's got standard 70s, so it's a poly finish and everything. It's worn quite nicely in some places, which is nice to know that it doesn't look brand new. It's, this instrument's over, like, coming up just over 40 years old, so it's yeah, it looks like it's about 40 years old. I changed the bridge saddles, they were stainless steel saddles. I changed them out for brass compensated saddles to help with the intonation a little bit. I put new pickups in it because the original ones were super microphonic, and I thought I could send them away to get rewound, but I just want to keep them the way they are, so they're in the case. These are some bare knuckle flat 50 pickups, like broadcaster style pickups, because if you've got a blonde telly with a black guard, first thing that pops in my head is 50s telly, so I thought, yeah, let's get some appropriate pickups for it. And they just sound great. It's super, I think we found out it's actually got 1 meg pots in the volume and tone, so different, because normally all my other single coil guitars have got 250k pots. It definitely makes the guitar brighter. The tone knob has got a really good sweep. It just sounds completely different from other telly. It helps me justify having two of the same guitar, similar guitar. But yeah, zero problems with it. It's been rock solid since Dave set it up, and we got a refret. We had a refret not long after because it was original for it, so it was on it. And I thought, I want to play it. I don't want it to sit in the house. I don't want it to be not play great, because then I won't want to pick it up and use it. So yeah, that's what we did. We put a bone nut in, same as what we did on the Duesenberg and the red telly and the Strat. Dave made me bone nuts for it. So I just filmed a video talking about my guitars, then didn't mention what strings I use. So I use the Dario 11 to 49s, the purple packet. I just use the normal nickel wound XLs. I always have a couple sets on hand. If I'm out playing for a weekend, I'll normally stick on some NYXLs or XTs just to give me a bit more confidence when I'm playing a lot harder when I get in the moment. So here's back to me rambling about my telly. And it just seemed to make everything that little bit better. This thing rings for days, as you could probably tell now. Tiny bit out of tune. And yeah, so guys, that's it for guitars. I've got a couple of acoustics here as well that I'll probably go into some other time, not something I use all the time, just sort of jumping about the house. So yeah, if you want to know any more about my gear, my pedal board's changed a little bit, so I might do a little video on that. I've got some new pedals came in to try out, so that'll be interesting. I'll get a couple of videos out about those. But yeah, if you want to know anything about my gear at all, drop me a message on my Instagram, which is mainly where I post. It's at James Thain Music. I've also got a website with all my gear. It's jamesthainmusic.com. They'll all be linked down below and you can check that out. But yeah guys, thanks for watching this video. Thanks for going through, I think, around about 12 minutes me just talking and no playing. So that's different. And yeah, I'll catch you in the next video guys. Have a good one.